It's lunchtime on day one of the Big One Stoneleigh, and although this show is only in its second year, judging by the crowds behind me, it's already well established. Lots of people sniffing out a bargain, having a look at the latest bits of tackle, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. A few bits have caught our eye, and we're going to show them to you right now. I'm here on the Byte Alarm stand. Now, this is something that really caught our eye this weekend. It is the world's first castable Byte Alarm. I'm here with Steve Matthews. He's the creator of this bit of technology. Steve, talk us through it. What is this?
Okay, so what I decided to do was create a Byte Alarm system that has 3 sensors. So the first one is a castable byte detector. So it's attached to the line, and you can attach it in so many different ways, it's almost irrelevant. But in essence, what's happening there is when you have the hook or the lead move, that will basically trigger an electronic sensor within that castable device, and that will send a message to this underwater receiver up to a range of 150 meters. The reason why it's so useful is that no matter how well you build a conventional byte alarm, beyond a certain range, your byte detection rates will just basically plummet off. So yeah, it's enabling you to detect all of those bytes from the fish that you've actually hooked.
Where did the idea come from? Are you an avid carp angler, or are you an avid technology expert? Where do this marriage of two things come from?
So I've been fishing since probably the age of 4, and I'm in my 40s now. So I've got a lot of experience with fishing, and I've always fished with byte alarms. And throughout that time, I've noticed that they have a limited range of performance. Now, that's not to say they're not bad in any way. It's just you can extend their ability to sense more bytes. And that's why I was describing earlier about there's 3 different ways. So currently you have just one sensor, which is line movement. Now, some of the alarms out there, they can extend into line tension, but it's more of just a yes or no answer. It's like if there's been a knock on your line from a fish swimming past, you might get a bleep. That same extends also into, like a full-on bite where there's no line movement and your rod tips moving around, you might get a beep. Noticing all of that stuff, it was just obvious to me that, from my background as well of basically a biomedical engineer, so I've spent a lot of time working with electronics, building plastics and metals, putting it together into machines, that I could have a really good go at building what I would describe as the ultimate byte alarm. So that's what I decided to do about 3.5 years ago.
And here we are now, 3.5 years on, and it's not just the castable byte alarm, is it? You've got what look like fairly conventional alarm heads as well, but there's a few tricks inside there as well.
Indeed. So I've kept them as conservative as design as possible, but what you basically have is a line movement sensor to start with, and what happens there is the line doesn't travel over the top of either a stylus or a wheel. It meanders through it, a little bit similar to how a skier would slalom through 2 poles. Okay, and what that basically means is the line, even on a slack line, always has constant frictional contact. Okay, so even on a slack line, you'll be picking up the most delicate of bites. It is a stylus in there, but it's the only stylus that can also alarm for a drop back. So the importance of forwards and backwards line movement, it can see that too. And it's constructed from a smoothed off stainless steel. So it's very easy going on your line. It's not going to damage your line, but the advantage that you have of having something made out of a metal is that it doesn't require the manufacturer servicing. Yeah. So that's the line movement sensor. And the second sensor is related to line tension. Okay, so what I've actually done is on the threaded bolt of the byte alarm head, so over there basically, I've installed a set of very accurate digital scales. So what that means is it's actually having a look at the weight of the rod and also the line. So that relates to all of the bites where you don't actually have any line movement whatsoever. So I'll give you an example. So it's really nice fishing hard up against snags, braid the whole way through. Don't even use a bobbin. As soon as that rod tip starts to move, you will not get just a bleep or perhaps nothing. You will get a full alarm.
So these are revolutionary, really. We haven't seen anything like this. Where are we in terms of production? When could we see these in shops? Are they coming soon, or is this a working prototype?
So everything is tooled up, ready for mass manufacture. The production line is in place. My objective to coming along to shows like this one is to gauge people's opinions so that I can actually set up my marketing messages correctly. I mean, obviously, I know this setup inside and out. For fresh eyes, there's a lot there. So that's why I'm here. but they're ready to go. So yes, see them in the shops quite soon, please. Thank you.
And what's the reaction you've had this week? And the million-dollar question is, what sort of price are you likely to put on these alarms?
Sure. Reassuringly, 10% I would say of people instinctively understand what I'm trying to do and seem very warm to the actual product offering that I'm doing. So as a startup business, I mean, what a great way to start. So yeah, I mean, in general, I'd say people have had a very good response to it. Some people have obviously mentioned some negative or limiting factors to it. So for example, when they talk about the issue of weed with these sensors. So the challenge I'm going to have is trying to explain to people about the fact, whereas beforehand, you've only got one Byte Alarm and it's only been able to sense in one way, but you're using multiple different rigs for multiple different scenarios. The same now applies for this. Some sensors will take priority over others. So that's the next bit in line. In regards to price, these are undoubtedly the most expensive Byte Alarms ever to exist, and I plan to release the launch retail price very soon. Thank you.
Good stuff. Just one question from us here at Cartfeed. You're casting something out. You're casting a bit of technology out. People might be worried, you know, I'm casting something I've paid a fair bit of money for, the danger of losing it. What, is there any fail-safe or safeguards against that?
No, but again, it comes back to these three overlapping sensors and their ability to work either independently or together. So going back to that weed scenario, I personally wouldn't fish with these where there's a risk of losing them. So I'd be going off and using the Byte Alarm heads because they just perform so well anyway. In regards to crack-offs and actually, you know, losing them in that way, again, so if you're fishing up close to a tree, that is what I would describe or define as a snag-type fishing environment. So again, I would use that set of digital scales for looking for a bite for that. What I learned through this, though, is, I mean, these are all ready to go, but for the prototypes, I'd have to build just one, and they were very expensive. So a crack-off would have been really bad. So what I actually learned myself is the actual technique of winding in the line. Particularly on big reel pits, if you're winding in quite quickly, you can pick up a momentum and you change the speed at which the line goes onto the reel. And that creates areas of like tight line and loose line. And it's actually that when you cast off, which is causing all of these knots, which then basically means your terminal tackle is just flying and it's not connected anymore. So that's another one of my objectives. I need to create a clear video now explaining how these systems can be used, but also how to significantly reduce the risks of losing them as well.
Good stuff. Well, that is the Byte Alarms. They've definitely caused a stir amongst just our team as well as the people here at the show. You'll be seeing more of those in the future, no doubt. This is one of the freshest products here at Stoneleigh this weekend. It's the brand new Witchwood Tactical Bivvy. It was only shown to the trade last week and it'll be coming into tackle shops very soon. It's a two-rib pram hood design, but a very boxy shape, so it really maximises its internal space. It's just 250 quid, and that's the full bundle, ground sheet, pegs and all, and a front. But you can also buy an additional front if you want a PVC clear door or a mozzie mesh door, extra 20 quid. This is the Tactical Bivvy from Witchwood, 250 quid, coming into shops very soon. We're over at Outlaw Pro stand. It's their first time at a Big One show, and many people might not have heard about them. So I've got Russell and Pete here from the brand to talk about it. Pete, tell us about Outlaw Pro. What are you, what do you do, and what do you sell?
Well, it's a new company, just started up. Well, we launched in February the 1st this year. Started doing the shows. It's our second show we've done. And we are, first of all, it's going to be a bait company. And that's soon become end tackle, PVA, a clothing range. Yeah, that's it really. So we're just a bait, clothing and tackle company. Just, yeah, trying to make our way in the market.
Good stuff. I've seen big crowds here, and you caused a big stir on social media, launching with 3 kilos of bait. Russell, talk us about that. What was the response like from the public?
So, yeah, it was really good. We just wanted to give everybody a chance to try it first. You know, like, everybody wants to try something before they buy it. So it's perfect opportunity for us just to let everybody try, give them a chance to have a go on it before they buy it. And it's at a reasonable price as well. You know, here today it's £5 a kilo.
I mean, the response has been, we saw it on our own Facebook page, the response was really big. Talk us about the key flavours then in the range. What have you launched with boilie pellet-wise?
So we have 6 flavours in total. We have the Raspberry Rush, Track Natural, Banoffee, Plum and Mulberry, Kriller and Seafood Supreme, which is a bit of everything. We've gone, whatever your lake, whatever type of bait you want, there's something for everyone. Visually as well, it's not just about the flavours, it's about the colours. So you've got your dark baits, your fish meals, your nut mix. So just try to cater for every aspect without it being too many baits. We've got 6 in the range. We've got all matching stuff to go with it, as you can see. The pellets, just a small range, but hit every aspect of what we think the angler would need.
Well, there you have it. That's Outlaw Pro. You might not have heard of them, but I'd imagine you will have done very soon.